Is Adolf Hitler actually Charlie Chaplin in disguise? Does AIDS really exist? These and other questions will be answered on Conspiracy Theater. Merry Christmas, everyone! So, as you all can see, Seth Lewis will be absent this episode. He had finals and he wasn't able to make it. But I will be filling in for him. If you don't know already, I'm Seth Lewis's cousin Edwin, and I thought I'd just go ahead and share with you all some of my favorite conspiracy theories. We're going to make this a conspiracy Christmas. So, the first one that I wanted to talk about was one that's getting a lot of coverage on the internet right now. It's this idea that there might be another race out there, a race of penguin aliens that are living on this Arctic world. And the theory is that they have come to our world and are manipulating society and living amongst us. And I think this theory really all begins with a woman by the name of Charlotte Brock. The day was March 22nd, Minnesota, 9 o'clock p.m., give or take about half an hour. Charlotte Brock was driving home. She went into her house, threw her keys on the table, and she heard some scuttling coming from the kitchen. Well, anyway, she thinks it's a thief, so she runs in, and she finds, to her astonishment, a bunch of muddy, webbed footprints on the floor, and the refrigerator door is open. Well, anyway, she gets her rifle, and she runs out into the backyard. And when she goes out, she's transfixed. She sees a bunch of little penguins in spacesuits, and they're all standing around this giant metallic disc, and they're all chattering to each other. Bok, 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 bok. Well, anyways, one of them turns to her and looks at her for a second. Then he looks over at the other one. Bok, 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 bok. Then he turns back, and he pulls out a giant laser gun, and he points it at her, and he fires. Well, anyway, she just blacks out. And when she wakes up, she goes and she calls the police, and they discover that all the pizza that she was going to save for lunch the next day is gone. And the police, of course, they hear all this, and they assume that she's crazy. And a lot of other people have assumed that she's crazy. But people are coming out after this incident. And we're finding that there might be more truth to Charlotte Brock's tale than we first thought. So, all across the world, people are claiming to have experienced something similar to Charlotte Brock. They say they were abducted by these alien birds, and they were taken to this Arctic planet, and they've had to escape. And as we look through history, we begin to notice that there are some similarities to these people's accounts and what our ancient people were experiencing. So, one of the things that is pretty common amongst ancient penguin stories is the pizza, or the symbol of the triangle. Now, we're not exactly sure what the penguins use the pizza for. Some say it's a fuel source for their ship. Others say they just like pizza. But commonly, all across the world, the triangle keeps popping up. You know, the ancient Egyptians made the pyramids, and across the world, the Aztecs were doing the exact same thing, making that symbol of the triangle, the slice of pizza. And we also got other things, the Bermuda Triangle, the triangle on the back of the dollar bill. And if you look at one of the most important mathematical concepts of all time, the symbol of pi, like a slice of pizza, a pizza pie. And also, birds are worshipped all over the world, in Egypt, and the Aztecs worship them too. And we just gotta wonder, did our ancient people experience the same thing that Charlotte Brock experienced? I don't know. I'm just letting you all decide. Finally, I wanted to talk about something that might be a little unsettling for some of you. So, you know, we all make jokes about the fat guy in politics and the tuxedo. But what if that fat guy really was a penguin? What if penguins are intermingling in our society trying to take over the White House, these big corporations. It's said that ancient penguins can put on disguises. They can make themselves little mustaches and little hats and just put on little wigs and pretend to be humans and fake our voices and everything. And according to my cousin Seth, the White House was infiltrated by a group of penguins. And luckily the penguin was tranquilized, no one got hurt. But it's definitely a clear sign that these penguins are up to something. What, I don't know. But I just wanted to go ahead and leave you all off with this. When we go to film those documentaries in the Arctic, we always think to ourselves that we're the ones filming the penguins. But I ask you, what if it's the other way around? What if it's not us that are filming and studying these penguins? What if it's the penguins that are studying us? Just something to consider. Thank you all for joining me on Conspiracy Theory.